Hello, hello. So good to see you today. Happy Wednesday. Happy Networking Know-How Day. Yes, welcome. You've reached Networking Know-How. This is our weekly episode where we give you some quick tips so that you can start networking stress-free like we do in our Down and Dirty Networking online community. So what is this community I talk about? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that, but today's topic is really timely. I know everyone has a lot on their plates. Everyone that I've talked to has very full plates. If that's you, let me know. I know my plate's full. As you can see, I'm out and about. I've actually got to go in to pick up a prescription for my mom. So how do you manage the hustle and bustle? But more importantly, I'm going to give you some tips on how, when you're already frazzled, you've got a full load, how do you elevate the small talk at holiday events? I don't know about you, but when I was going to events, I'm not able to get out into the events. The fact that I'm doing this is pretty impressive, actually. But I will get to events soon. But when I was doing events in person, or as I'm doing virtual events now, the hard part is to be like present and in the room because you're so frazzled getting to the event, getting all the details of the event, that all of a sudden you just kind of lay back on your default, small talk settings as you're networking and mixing and mingle with everybody. And I don't know about you, but when I know that I'm going to be doing something like that, and I'm going to be going to an event and I'm already frazzled, I don't really want to go, it just makes the thought of networking or having those conversations more stressful, to where I'm like, I really don't want to go. So if you're that person and you're like, man, I already feel awkward having meaningful conversations or small talk conversations, I would like them to be meaningful. I would like them to be more stress-free. If that's you, then you're in the right place. I got a cool tip for you today. If you find that things are just so hectic and you'd like to slow down and really raise your vibrational energy, then this tip is also for you. So before I get ahead of myself, let me introduce myself if we have not yet connected. My name is Laura Morlando, and I am the Stress Commando, and I am the founder and CEO of Down and Dirty Networking. And like I said, we are an online community focused 100% on relational networking. So what is relational networking? That is the other type of networking where there are no 30-second commercials or sales pitches. We are focused on having meaningful conversations to learn from and about someone to build lasting and authentic relationships. And what I have found is that most people want to have more meaningful conversations. I founded this company and this community because I felt I was on the island of alone. And I was tired of trying to do things on my own after my health diagnosis. And I quickly found out there were a lot of other professionals and business owners and admins and athletes and academics who felt the exact same way. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a community where you could feel supported, where you feel you had access to the brain power, and where it was a safe space to have meaningful conversations on any topic, anything that you need support on, you would find in this community. That's why I founded Down and Dirty Networking. That's why we are cutting the fluff of traditional networking. So there are, like I said, no 30-second commercials, no sales pitches. We get right into it and we get right into the networking of things. So if you'd like to know more, drop a comment, say more in the comments, or DM me the word more, because you are going to get a chance in the new year to check us out. So if you're interested in learning more, drop the word more and I'll gladly let you know. All right, so let's get on to today's tip. That way I can get on and get into the pharmacy and get the prescription before they close. Okay, so as you're going through the holiday event and you want to elevate your small talk into something more meaningful, here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Leverage all of those wonderful questions you're seeing on social media right now and play a game and say, you know what, I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to do a poll and I'm going to see how many people answer this question. Okay. And one, it makes it more fun for you. Two, it makes you stand out because you're not just saying the typical superficial, how are you type things. And if you want more questions and deeper solutions, I did a couple of videos last week and the week prior that were kind of our series. So if you want more on this topic, I would go back and look at the Down and Dirty Networking LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see the past couple of episodes that will really help you out. But for today, here's the bonus tip that builds on what we've already been talking about. One of the polls that I've been seeing a lot on social, you tell me if you've seen this, where people are saying, true or false, Is Die Hard truly a Christmas movie or a holiday movie? So I'm curious what the answer you have is. So drop a comment, let me know. Do you actually consider Die Hard a holiday or a Christmas movie? And if so, why or why not? Okay, I've seen this one on social and I legitimately want to know your answer. But because I saw so many people commenting and having so many conversations, this one's a no-brainer to use when you're in events virtually or on in person. You can say, oh my gosh, I just saw this curly girl with Down and Dirty Networking asking this question, and I'm curious what your answer is. So I'm doing an unofficial poll. Do you find Die Hard as a holiday or a Christmas movie to you? Why or why not? Now, that is a very different question than how are you? And then what I would encourage you to do is get curious about the answer they give and ask follow-up questions. So if they say, well, I don't celebrate Christmas, for example, which is why you might want to phrase it as holiday movie. You go, oh, is there anything this time of year that you do celebrate or a tradition that you love to have? You can absolutely pivot the question to find out what it is that they do. And if they don't celebrate anything this time of year, you can say, do you have any end of year traditions that you do to get ready for the new year? How are you closing out the year? Those are some great fallback questions if you do run into somebody else. But what's great is that you just have to get curious. Get curious. And when people say Die Hard, people have an opinion about this. And I saw this on social media. And so you're probably going to get a crowd of people talking about this. Now, why I know this strategy works is because I did some of this with other events when I was doing them in person. And we would do these kind of poll questions kind of as a theme for people to ask what they thought. Like we did a whole, nuts about networking event. And this was prior to Down and Dirty Networking being founded. This was a while ago. But nuts about networking. We had different nuts there. We had different trivia questions. And we got a poll question on which were the favorite nut type of M&Ms that they liked. Whether they liked almond, whether they liked peanuts, or were they not a nut person and they preferred the regular M&M. And so we were having all kinds of fun having this conversation. And so we learned who was allergic to nuts. We learned that peanuts and nuts are different. We learned all this fun trivia, and other people was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Some people were saying, oh my gosh, I used to pick these when I was kids. We learned things about each other that we normally would never have learned if we were focused on traditional networking. Hi, my name is, here's my business card, shake my hand, buy my stuff. That's how most people perceive traditional networking. Or if you're at holiday events, it's either I want to sell or get a leg up in my professional career by making a connection or asking for a promotion or getting some mind share with the boss. And that's part of the reason. I don't know if this is true for you. If it is, let me know. But I think it's part of the reason for myself and others that I've talked to why there's such a dread to do these professional or corporate type of holiday events. But here's the cool part about this tip I just gave you. It works for personal events. You're going to learn some amazing things from people you think you know by asking a different question. It's always important to go deeper. So I said earlier, I'm getting ready to go pick up her prescription for my mom. And I've been having some amazing conversations with my mom as her caregiver here lately. And I'm hearing stories over and over, things that I already knew about. And because of where her headspace is right now, I'm getting to ask different questions and I'm getting deeper answers than I've ever gotten in my entire life. So even someone like my mom, who I know really, really well, I've known all my life, I'm learning more about her and I can go deeper. So I want you to really open up to the possibility that even the people you know really well, the coworkers you know really well, the vendors you know really well, the clients you know really well, your friends and family that you know really well, there's always a deeper layer. People evolve. They're always changing. They're evolving. So get to know the person that's in front of you this holidays by getting curious. And a fun way is to ask some really clever questions. And so the Die Hard one's a really easy one to do. Or what's a question you've answered on social that you've seen? Maybe you saw it on LinkedIn or Instagram or on Facebook, or maybe you did a poll on YouTube. Wherever you saw it, if it stopped you to answer, then there's the question you want to start asking when you're going into your holiday events. And that's where things can be so much more meaningful. So I did ask this question virtually of somebody if they thought Die Hard was a holiday movie. If so, why or why not? It opened up the conversation, and I ultimately got to learn about some of the traditions that they had in their family. Some were just so cool to learn about. So I really appreciate that. I met another person who doesn't celebrate anything this time of year, but they do have some great end of year traditions that I was like, hey, I think I might actually want to incorporate some of those. So you get to really elevate the meaningfulness of the conversation. And when you do that, when things are more meaningful, when they're more fun, when they're less stressful, it raises your vibrational energy. When you raise your vibrational energy, you don't dread networking, especially when you're engaging in relational networking like we do in Down and Dirty Networking, and you're more likely to come back and do it again and again. And here's the cool part for you. When you do this in a corporate setting, professional setting, work kind of setting, it raises your vibration, it raises your reputational capital with everyone you interact with when you are engaging in relational networking. Trust me, it works over and over again. We do it automatically inside our Down and Dirty Networking community. We always leave energized. We always leave with our vibrational energy higher than when we walked in. And sometimes we have better ideas. Maybe we're less stressed, but we've always walked away with something that we needed. And sometimes things we didn't even know we needed. So I hope that's helpful. As you want to make things more meaningful into the events, try asking some very seasonal type questions like the Die Hard question. But drop a comment. Let me know what you think about that. And if you have a question that you stopped your scroll in social media and you're like, oh my gosh, I really want to ask this question, then put that here so that we can start curating some of the questions that anybody can find that they can use as they're at these last minute events throughout all the hustle and bustle. Let's focus on networking stress-free by engaging in relational networking and leveraging our brain power. All right, I see some people watching live. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for allowing me to come and go as I please. And this proves the point. You absolutely get to network relationally wherever you are. Believe me, I'm going to be going into the pharmacy and ask them this question. I'm going to see what they say. So you just never know. Hey, I see someone live watching on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, I can't see who you are. I'll log into LinkedIn. I'll be able to see it there. You're saying great info. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate you for saying that. Made my day. All right. Thanks so much. I will be going live next Wednesday between 3:30 and 5:30 Central Standard Time. So stay tuned. This will continue and close out the series for the holiday season. And if you've missed any of our videos on the Wednesdays or any of our tips or articles that we do post, make sure you're checking out our Facebook and LinkedIn Down and Dirty Networking page, and you can get all of those very simple tips and strategies so that you can network more stress-free like we do in our Down and Dirty Networking community. And drop the word more or DM me the word more if you'd like to know how you can learn more about test driving, what this community is all about for you. All right, until next week, happy networking.